Welcome back to Unspoken Men Truths, the channel that cuts through the noise and goes straight into the psychology that is shaping how men live, lead, and collapse. Today we are going after one of the most widespread and most dangerous patterns in modern male psychology. Most men are walking around with a hollow core, terrified that a bad financial quarter will erase their entire self-worth. We have turned our souls into balance sheets, leaving us devastated during inevitable downturns. It is time to reclaim a sovereignty that no economic recession can take away from you. The digital economy delivers a real-time feed of other men's net worth signals, the watches, the portfolio screenshots, the revenue captions, and for a man conditioned to measure himself against others, that feed is not entertainment. It is a threat assessment on a loop. Research from the American Psychological Association confirms social comparison is one of the primary drivers of male anxiety, and constant digital exposure has stripped every barrier that once limited those comparisons. What emerges is the success mirage, the point at which a man abandons his internal foundation and redirects energy toward an external image. Princeton economist Angus Deaton found that beyond a baseline of financial security, additional income produces no measurable increase in emotional satisfaction. The man chasing the next figure is not moving toward peace. He is running from what lives beneath the performance. When identity rests on a single pillar and that pillar is financial, the entire psychological architecture depends on one point of contact with the ground. Remove it and the structure comes down. Neuroscience research from the California Institute of Technology documents that financial loss activates the same threat response circuitry as physical danger. The amygdala fires, cortisol floods the system, and the prefrontal cortex goes offline. For a man whose safety and masculine worth live in one account, a market correction does not feel like a setback. It feels like erasure. Clinical psychologists describe this as identity bankruptcy, where losing one external resource triggers a total collapse of confidence and social engagement. Research further links this pattern to elevated inflammatory markers, disrupted sleep, and higher rates of cardiovascular disease. The body holds what the mind refuses to examine. There is a distinction most men never confront: the difference between being a provider and being a paycheck. A provider contributes from purpose and chosen responsibility. A paycheck is what a man becomes when his only value is the number he produces each billing cycle. Gottman's longitudinal research reveals that relationships built on financial display rather than depth of character rank among the least stable structures ever studied. Men who operate as paychecks find their relationships transactional at the core, and the moment the transaction falters, connection dissolves with it. What remains is the realization that no one showed up for the man beneath the money. Conditional confidence, present only when the contract lands or the trade turns green, is not confidence at all. It is a performance that demands a perfect stage, and no stage holds forever. The antidote is not financial indifference. It is what Stoic philosophers called internal sovereignty, ownership of values and capacities that exist independent of any external condition. Psychologist Martin Seligman's research on flourishing identifies 5 pillars of genuine well-being: positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. Not one is measured in currency. The man who invests in physical mastery and intellectual depth builds wealth that cannot be liquidated. Decoupling self-image from net worth demands a daily audit, asking with honest scrutiny, if the money disappeared tomorrow, what would remain? That answer is the actual measure of a man. A diversified identity drawing purpose from mentorship, craft, and discipline is not a consolation prize. It is the foundation that makes success survivable when it shifts. The new standard of masculine success is not measured by what a man accumulates. It is measured by what he remains when accumulation is stripped away. The most enduring figures in human history are not remembered for their balances. They are remembered for the integrity held under pressure and the code they refused to abandon when life tested them. Building that legacy begins with one daily practice: grounding self-worth in action and character rather than digits on a screen. This means showing up with discipline on the days the market is down, the client walked, and the quarter missed. It means measuring each day by whether the man moved closer to the person he has decided to become. That is the blueprint. Not fragile. Not contingent. Not for sale. If this cracked something open for you, do not scroll past it. Subscribe to Unspoken Men Truths and bring someone with you. A man in your circle who has built everything on the outside and is running on empty within.